Started. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakhaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatharinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. And then let's say these auspicious prayers to invoke the presence of Lord Narsimha Dev. We can all say together. I think everybody knows. Shri Narsimha Jai Narsimha Jai Jai Narsimha Praladesha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringa Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Narsimham Bhishanam Bhadram Once more. Shri Narsimha Jai Narsimha Jai Jai Narsimha Praladesha Jaya Mukha Padma Ugram Veeram
Alantam Sarvato Mukham
Narsimham Bhishanam Bhadram Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. So I thought you know उस दिन हमने सारी वो कथा कर ली थी नरसिंह प्रहलाद की. So you all know the famous pastime of how Lord Narsimha Dev appeared. तो आज कुछ different तरह की बात करते हैं. So I thought let's talk about Narsimha's pastimes in Gaur Leela. So I will cover a few pastimes, and if we have time, I will cover about the appearance of Ugra Narsimha in Mayapur Dham also. अगर टाइम हुआ, अगर आप लोग स्टे कर सकते हैं तो उग्र नरसिम्हा के बारे में भी बात करेंगे जो मायापुर धाम के डेटी हैं. तो इस साल तो वैसे भी नरसिंह विंग बना है मायापुर धाम में, तो बहुत ही ऑस्पिशियस ईयर है ये. तो अभी हमने when we went year before, when we went last year, the Narsimha wing was not open. It opened this year, so we have not seen that Narsimha wing. So we'll talk about that Ugra Narsimha DT also. But I thought let's focus on Narsimha Aarti for a few minutes. तो आप में से बहुत लोगों को तो नरसिंह आरती आती है, मैक्सिमम डिवोटीज को. आज शाम को प्लीज डू द नरसिंह आरती. नरसिंह कवच भी कर सकते हैं. तो नरसिंह आरती का मैं आपको थोड़ा सा वो बताती हूँ. मीनिंग में उसकी डिटेल में नहीं जाऊंगी बिकॉज उसके डिटेल मीनिंग्स आर अवेलेबल बाय अदर सीनियर वैष्णवास ऑन द यूट्यूब. I've just taken two main words from Narsimha Aarti and just focused on those two words. Okay. So if you know, Narsimha Aarti has two parts. Okay. The first part is जैसे नमस्ते नरसिम्हाया, यहाँ से शुरू होके जब तक हम बोलते हैं तव कर कमल वरे, तव कर कमल तक, यहाँ तक जो फर्स्ट पार्ट है नरसिंह आरती का, this was composed by none other than our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our beloved Gauranga. Okay, and you know Gauranga Mahaprabhu or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is none other than Krishna in the mood of Radharani, who came in the Kali Yuga to give us the Harinam Sankirtan, to establish the Sankirtan movement and to give us the dharma of Kali Yuga, the prescribed duty for Kali Yuga, which is Harinam Sankirtan, which is the japa, chanting of the holy names. And he also came to relish the mood of Radharani. So in this way, the first of those lines, the first half of Narsimha Aarti was composed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. तो आपको पता है चैतन्य महाप्रभु जगन्नाथपुरी में रहते थे. जगन्नाथपुरी में संन्यास के बाद वहीं पर रहते थे for almost 18 years of his last 18 years of his life he lived in जगन्नाथपुरी. वहाँ जगन्नाथपुरी के साउथ पार्ट ऑफ टेम्पल में एक नरसिंहा वो है टेम्पल, हमने भी देखा था इस बार. नरसिंहा का एक छोटा सा टेम्पल है सदर्न पार्ट ऑफ जगन्नाथपुरी टेम्पल में. उसमें भगवान नरसिंह देव की दो डीटीज हैं. तो जो डीटी दिखाई देते हैं, अगर आप ऐसे देखो दूर से खड़े होके, तो जो आपको डीटी दिखाई देते हैं वो हैं शांत नरसिम्हा। उसमें आप ऊपर तक चढ़ के जा सकते हो और शांत नरसिम्हा के दर्शन अवेलेबल हैं। और एक उनके पीछे डीटी हैं, वो है उग्र नरसिम्हा की डीटी। उग्र नरसिम्हा के डीटी के दर्शन नहीं देते टिपिकली ऑर्डिनरी जनता को, ऑर्डिनरी ऑडियंस को। अगर आप प्रीस्ट से कुछ स्पेशल रिक्वेस्ट करो पुजारी से, सो मे बी दे लेट यू सी द उग्र नरसिम्हा, बट टिपिकली शांत नरसिम्हा के ही दर्शन मिलते हैं। तो इस नरसिंगा टेम्पल में महाप्रभु, आफ्टर टेकिंग दर्शन ऑफ जगन्नाथ, बलदेव, सुभद्रा माई, he used to go to this Narsinga temple and used to offer prayers there. And these were the prayers that he used to offer. ठीक है, ये नमस्ते नरसिम्हाया, ये वाली प्रेयर्स ऑफर करते थे। तो ये जो फर्स्ट हाफ है ये भगवान गौरांग महाप्रभु ने हमको दिया है। और जो इसका सेकंड हाफ है इस आरती का, वो आया है फ्रॉम द कॉम्पोजिशन ऑफ जयदेव गोस्वामीज दश अवतार स्तोत्र। जयदेव गोस्वामी ने एक बहुत ही ब्यूटीफुल सॉन्ग लिखा था। इट्स नॉट जस्ट वन सॉन्ग, इट्स मेनी सॉन्ग्स एंड इट्स कॉल्ड गीत गोविंद। गीत गोविंद में बहुत ही कॉन्फिडेंशियल पास टाइम्स ऑफ राधा कृष्णा आर मेंशन्ड। लेकिन उस गीत गोविंद की जो ओपनिंग है, जो बिगिनिंग है, दैट स्टार्ट्स विद द इंट्रोडक्शन, इज एक्चुअली द दश अवतार स्तोत्र। तो जयदेव गोस्वामी बहुत फेमस हैं गीत गोविंद लिखने के लिए। और जयदेव गोस्वामी महाप्रभु से भी कई साल, 500 साल पहले आए थे। तो उन्होंने ये वाला, उन्होंने दश अवतार स्तोत्र लिखा था। उन्होंने जो 10 मेन इनकारनेशंस हैं भगवान की, द प्राइमरी 10 इनकारनेशंस ऑफ द लॉर्ड, he glorified those 10 incarnations in his dash avatar stotra. So if you remember the portion where he says keshavadhirita narhari रूपा, and so वो वाला portion जो है, वो वाला, तव कर कमल वरे नखाम अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकश्यपु तनु भृंगाम केशव धीरिता नरहरि रूपा जय
जय
जगदीश हरे।
हरे
So this
जय
portion, it comes in the दश अवतार स्तोत्र ऑफ जयदेव गोस्वामी। तो उनकी सारी, जब वो ग्लोरीफाई करते हैं सभी 10 इनकारनेशन को, तो ऐसे ही करते हैं, जैसे केशव धीरिता हलधर रूपा, हलधर रूपा इज फॉर लॉर्ड बलराम, या फिर ही सेज केशव धीरिता मीन शरीरा, मीन शरीरा इज फॉर मत्स्य रूप। इस तरीके से वो सभी फॉर्म्स को ग्लोरीफाई करते हैं। तो ये पोर्शन लिखा है जयदेव गोस्वामी ने। तो ये हमारे डिसाइपलिक सक्सेशन में एक्चुअली नरसिंह देव को वर्शिप करने की बहुत पुरानी ट्रेडिशन है। That's why I'm bringing this up, that how we got this Narsingh Aarti is because there is tradition to worship Narsingh Dev in our disciplic succession from many years back, even before Gaurang Mahaprabhu. So even from the time of Jayadev Goswami, and then from Mahaprabhu used to visit the Narsingha temple. And then you just read Bhakti Vinod Thakur's song on Mahaprabhu when he offered prayers to Mahaprabhu. Similarly, our beloved Prabhupada, what he did was he combined these two prayers of Jayadev Goswami and Mahaprabhu, and he put it together as Narsingha Aarti. And he instructed his disciples that this Narsingha Aarti should be sung in every temple every morning and evening. So you'll see that in ISKCON temples, there is tradition to sing Narsingha Aarti in the morning and evening. And these prayers are diligently offered. Everybody sings Narsingha Aarti. And like I was discussing the other day, Narsingha Aarti sometimes are entrance into Krishna consciousness actually. Because that is where we start praying to Narsingha Dev, we start learning Narsingha Aarti, we start singing Narsingha Aarti at home every day. And that's how we get entrance into Krishna consciousness actually. So Prabhupada made this rule, this tradition, that in ISKCON, Narsingha Aarti will be sung. He combined both of these prose, this poetry, these songs together. Now in this song, in this Aarti, I want you to focus on two main words. केशव धीरता नर हरि रूपा. Okay, तो इसमें केशव वर्ड केशव वर्ड is very, I'm going to switch to English. I see Shravani Mataji is here, so I'll mostly speak in English. Please bear with me. So Keshav is a name of Krishna. Okay, Keshav is a very important name of Krishna. There are two meanings of the word Keshav. Okay, If you see in Jaydev Goswami's prayer, he has very smartly used the word Keshav for each incarnation. He says, Keshav Dharita Haldhar Rupa. Like that, Keshav Dharita Nar Hari Rupa. Keshav Dharita Meen Sharira. Like that, he's using Keshav Dharita for every incarnation. So why does he do that? Because Keshav is the name of the killer of Keshi demon. And who is the killer of Keshi demon? Krishna. So you know that in Vrindavan pastimes, Krishna killed Keshi demon. And he was, and also Keshav means somebody who has very beautiful locks of hair, very soft, curly locks of plush hair. So Keshav also stands for somebody with very beautiful hair, and Krishna has very beautiful hair. So Keshav also stands for that. And Keshav also stands for killer of Keshi demon. So it has two meanings. And Keshi demon was the last demon that Krishna killed before he left Vrindavan. So you know how Akrura came and got Krishna and Balram to visit Kamsa Maharaj. At the request of Kamsa, he said that Kamsa Maharaj wants Krishna and Balram to come to Mathura to visit, to attend this celebration. So please come with me. So when Akrura came, just before that, the last demon that Krishna had killed was Keshi demon. Okay, it was a horse demon. So you know that whenever Krishna killed a demon, all the gopis, all the Vrajvasis, all the gopas, they'll start singing the glories of that pastime. They will make a name for Krishna and they will start singing about that name. So they had used this name Keshav for Krishna because he had killed Keshi demon. They had given him this name Keshav, and they used to call him Keshav very fondly when Krishna had killed Keshi demon. So then Akrura came and took Krishna away, and after that there were no more, killings of the demon. There was no more Asur Sanghar going on in Vrindavan anymore. All that stopped. All that killings of demons stopped because Krishna left. So Vrajvasis were now stuck with this name Keshav, and this was the last name that was on their lips after Krishna left. So this is the name with which they used to call Krishna. They used to lament that, oh Keshav, you are such a liar, you are such a cheater. You promised that you will be back in a few days, but you have not returned. You have broken our heart. They used to lament, they used to complain, they used to cry by calling out this name. Actually, it is said not only that this name was given by Vrajvasis, this name was given by Radharani herself to Krishna. So the Radharani and gopis, they used to cry by calling out this name. They'll say, and this song can be found in Chaitanya Charitamrita many times actually, because Mahaprabhu used to sing this song very much. Remember that Mahaprabhu is in the mood of Radharani. So he used to sing this song. He used to sing, and Radharani used to sing, gopis used to sing this song. They will say, Krishna Keshav, Krishna Keshav, Krishna Keshav Pahi Mam, Ram Raghav, Ram Raghav, Ram Raghav Raksha Mam, Krishna Keshav, Krishna Keshav, Krishna Keshav Pahi Mam. Like that they used to keep calling out his names, and Mahaprabhu has recited the same song over and over in Chaitanya Charitamrita actually. So Jaydev Goswami has very smartly put that name in his Dashavatar Stotra to remind us that Krishna or Keshav is the original source of all incarnations. So Krishna is the avatari, whereas all the others are avatars or incarnation. He's the prime source. He's the source of all sources. He's the cause of all causes. He's the one from whom all the incarnations come. So he comes in various moods at various times for a particular purpose, to establish dharma, to kill certain types of demons, to exchange certain types of relationships with certain types of devotees, and in certain moods. And in different incarnations, he exhibits different moods. So when this loving Krishna, this very beautiful, charming, endearing, naughty, this Shyam Sundar, this Gopi Jan Vallabh, this Gopi, this Radha Raman, this Madan Mohan Krishna, when he comes in this very, very ferocious form, when Krishna is so angry that his devotee has been harassed by a demon, has been harmed by a demon, has been tortured by a demon, when Krishna becomes very, very angry, then that form is none other than the form of Narsimha Dev. So imagine Krishna can be most loving, and Krishna can also be most ferocious and most dangerous. This bibats bhayankar, this karal ugra roop in which he can come for his devotee. That loving Keshav, that Krishna whose name gopis and Radharani used to cry for, that Krishna can come in this ferocious form to save that one devotee. With one devotee, he is exchanging this beautiful loving relation in the form of Narsingha. So Jayadev Goswami is implying here that Krishna is the original source of all the incarnation, whether it's Matsya, Varha, Vaman, Lord Ram, or whether it's Parshuram, Balram. They're all the original source is always Krishna, the Keshav, the killer of Keshi demon, the one who has beautiful locks of black curly hair. Okay, so this is, and this has been established many times. Even Srimad Bhagavatam says that Ete chamsha kalapum sa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Ridyanti Yuge Yuge. So that whenever the demons disturb my devotees or demigods headed by Indra, that's when I come in different forms. And then the other name that I want you to focus in this Aarti is, so other than Keshav, Jayadev Goswami has used another name called Narhari. Okay, he has used a name called Narhari. So what does Narhari mean? Narhari also has two meanings. One meaning of Narhari is very straightforward. So Hari means Krishna or Hari, Lord Vishnu. And Nar means human-like. So when Krishna comes in this human-like form and engages in these Narvat Leelas, he can be called Narhari. Okay, that's one understanding. But when it is used, so in that way, every form in which, like Lord Ram or Krishna or Vamandev or Parshuram, they can all be Narhari Roop, because in all those forms he's coming in human-like, he's performing human-like pastimes. When Hari performs human-like pastimes, he can be called Narhari. But when this name is used for Narsingadev, what does it mean? It means, so Hari means somebody who steals, okay, who jo har lete hain, who steals our, it says, it is said, Sarvam Amangalam Hare, who steals all the inauspiciousness, who steals all the difficulties, all the obstacles, all the fears, all the anarthas, all the useless qualities, all the disturbances. Sarvam Amangalam Hare. That person is called Hari. जो सारे अमंगल, all inauspicious, unfortunate चीजों को चुरा लेते हैं. That person is called Hari. Okay. Also, it is said Hare Man, because he also, not only he steals all these other problems and difficulties and obstacles, but also he steals our heart. Just like I described just now, how he stole the heart of the Radharani, heart of Gopis, heart of Brajvasi. So he steals our heart. Then Hare Man, जो मन को हर लेते हैं, उनको भी हरि बोलते हैं. So he steals the heart of his devotees, heart of great sages, munis, paramhamsas, all these great saints that are not attracted by anything in this world. They are attracted, their heart is stolen by the beautiful, attractive names and pastimes and qualities and forms of Lord Hari. That Hari is called Hari because he steals the heart of these pure devotees. So he's the biggest thief. He's the biggest, he has more stealing propensities than anybody else. So Bilva Mangal Thakur, who is one of our great acharyas, he composed this song called Chaurashtakam, where he where his stealing propensities, or his the fact that he's a big thief, is being glorified. So he says, Raje prasiddham navneet chauram Gopangananam chadukula chauram Anek janmarjita papa chauram Chauragraganyam purusham namami. So in this way he steals. So क्योंकि वो हरते हैं, वो steal करते हैं, इसलिए भी उनको हरि बोलते हैं. And nar means lion like. So when that Hari comes in the form of a lion, then he is called Narhari. So in case of Narsingha, when that Vishnu, that Krishna, the Hari, comes in this lion-like form, he's also called Narhari. So he's a half man, half lion form. So Nar also means lion. Okay. So in this way, I wanted you to focus on these two names in the beautiful Narsingha Aarti that we sing every day. we should know why the word Keshav is used and why the word Narhari is used. Okay, so then you understand Krishna is the source of all these of all the incarnations, and there are many numerous incarnations. The incarnations come like waves in the sea, and each time Lord takes a different form. He has a different mood, he has a different purpose, he has some internal reasons, some external reasons, some confidential reasons why he comes. But the 10 of those are the prime incarnations that we often glorify, and Lord Narsimha Dev, and these are the 10 incarnations on the screen, and Lord Narsimha Dev is one of those 10. Okay. And these incarnations, these forms are very difficult for us to understand. That is why sometimes we just focus on the main ones. And our acharyas, our disciplic succession has recommended us to, Krishna is the Swayam Bhagwan. He's our worshipable deity. So we focus on Krishna. We focus on the pastimes of Gauranga, because Gauranga is our worshipable deity of this yuga. He is our, he's a Param Karuna avatar. So even when you cannot get the lotus feet of Radha Krishna, you can be assured of the mercy of Gaur Nitai. So since Gaur Nitai established the Sankirtan movement, he was so merciful that he came to give us this, Kali Dharma of chanting of the holy names. That's why we have allegiance to Lord Gauranga's pastimes. So Krishna and Mahaprabhu, two of these that we focus on. But also our disciplic succession has recommended us to pray to Narsimha Dev on a daily basis. That's why I was saying that daily we are singing Narsimha Aarti. And many times in our disciplic succession, we have seen that whenever there was a difficulty, they will take shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Narsimha. For example, anytime when Prabhupada, for example, in Prabhupada's pastimes, there were so many difficulties while building those temples, or when the devotees were being captured or put in prison, or they were being tortured. They were being falsely blamed for different things. So a lot of time our Sankirtan movement has been in danger. And at every step, Prabhupada recommended that we should take shelter of of Lord Narsimha. Even when Prabhupada's own health was in jeopardy, he suffered another heart attack, and he was in hospital. And then many times he would request his disciples to, sing Narsingh Kavach and Narsingh Aarti, and they would pray to Lord Narsimha through the night. Similarly, when there was difficulty in building the Juhu temple, you would remember that there was one person who was who had become this very big opponent of Prabhupada and will not allow, was causing a lot of disturbances in making the temple. So at that time also, somehow the difficulties went away because devotees were taking shelter of Lord Narsimha, and Prabhupada said very boldly to all the devotees that it's Narsimha actually who came in my dream, and I requested him to take care of this difficulty, this particular fellow who's posing so much trouble in our path. Please take care of this problem. So Narsimha Dev has removed those obstacles from our path, and now we can build the Juhu temple. So like that, we've seen our disciplic succession time and again take shelter of Lord Narsimha. I thought I'll focus on Gauranga's pastime, how devotees took shelter of Lord Narsimha. So I have 2 or 3 times when Gauranga Mahaprabhu actually exhibited his Narsimha Roop, and I wanted to talk about that. And this is just, I don't know if you can see, if some of you can see the screen. This is just a board, a sign in this national park in India. It's called Bandhavgarh National Park. And here the lion is saying, perhaps you may not have seen me, but please don't be disappointed. I have seen you. I really like this sign because, here the lion is saying that even if you don't see me, remember that I have seen you. So I really like this because this is a reminder to us that, when we do services, when we do various, during our dealings with various devotees, whenever we are performing various tasks and projects, sometimes we get this feeling, or even when we are, performing various aspects of devotional service, we get this feeling, oh, who's watching us? Guru is not able to watch us. I don't know if Krishna is even watching me, or maybe I can cheat, maybe I can offend people. It's okay to be become a little casual with my various services, and it's okay if I don't pay too much attention. Who's watching me? It's fine. But here the line is saying, I have seen you, so I'm watching you. So we should always know that our Narsingadev, the Paramatma within our heart, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always watching us. So we should always, that's why we should always pray to Narsingadev that please remove any obstacles that I have in my heart, that just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur was praying. So Narsingadev, the reason we pray to Narsingadev is for two things. One, to remove internal obstacles in our path to devotional service, in our path to Radha Krishna. There are many internal obstacles. The obstacles that are within our heart, like our useless qualities, our materialistic desires, our offensive mentality, our wasteful, like anarthas, basically, those shadripu, all those things in our heart that nobody else can remove, but the Paramatma within our heart can purify. So we really pray to Narsingadev that you can see those contaminations within my heart. Please destroy those, just those Hiranyakashipu-like mentality. Please destroy that type of mentality from my heart. So those are internal obstacles. External obstacles are the ones that I was describing before, like Prabhupada said, whenever you have health problems, pray to Narsingadev, or whenever we have problem in our Sankirtan movement, during our preaching, if there are problems from external people or outside forces that try to harm us, disturb us, then from those obstacles also we pray to Narsinga to protect us. But actually, more than external, it's the internal obstacles that are the biggest hurdles in our progress. So our progress is not disturbed so much by the outside factors, but more by the internal problems that we have. So one of the biggest problems that we have in our progress is offensive mentality, like Vaishnava Aprad. We perform all, we make all kind of aprads, all kind of offenses. If you think about it, Nam Aprad, Vaishnava Aprad, Seva Aprad, Guru Aprad, Vishnu Aprad, all kinds of aprad we make. So Nam Aprad, almost on daily basis while chanting when we are not focusing. Nam Aprad is like on a daily basis. Seva Aprad almost, DT Aprad, but so many aprads that we make. So, and about these offenses, it is described in our scriptures that these offenses are compared to an elephant. Okay, there is a particular offense. It's called Hatimata Aprad or Hatimata offense. Okay. हाथी जैसी मेंटालिटी की, जैसे हाथी जो होता है, इट डिस्ट्रॉयज, मतलब आई एम ट्राइंग टू रिमेम्बर, इसमें ऐसा होता है, नागार्जुन प्रभु, डू यू रिमेम्बर व्हाट इज द एग्जैक्ट हाथी मता ऑफेंस क्या होता है? हाथी कैसे
I think it is just it's like a mad elephant destroying the garden, just like that destroys a devotional service.
Yeah, mad elephant
Aprad towards Vaishnava Aprad.
Yeah, mad elephant. So there is a carefully weeded garden with delicate flowers, delicate plants, and this mad elephant is loose in that garden, and he's just walking all over these delicate plants and these gentle creepers and destroying everything. So that's called Hathi Matha Aprad. So this is in reference to Vaishnava Aprad, like Nagarjuna Prabhu shared. Thank you, Prabhu. So it is said, who can kill an elephant in a forest? Elephant is very strong. Similarly, our offensive mentality is very strong. But in a forest, who can kill an elephant? A lion can kill an elephant. So similarly, our offensive mentality, these elephant-like offenses are very strong and they're very difficult to kill. But they can be killed by Narsingadev, the lion, who can destroy this offensive mentality. So always remember that Lord is watching your attitude, your dealings, your offenses, your anarthas, your desires, and not that we are in fear of him, like not that we should be fearfully conducting ourselves. We should be having proper dealings and conduct and proper desires out of love for the Lord. But initially, when we start this process of devotional service, when we are new sadhakas, at that time, a little bit of fear is needed. And Narsingadev is that fear-inducing form that can help us to give us this initial push so that we do not conduct these type of offenses. So this is about internal obstacles that we come across. And then let's talk about the about Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Okay, I don't have any slides for this, so I will just I'll just share. Okay. So, as we just discussed, Krishna is the source of all incarnation. Gauranga Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna in the mood of Radharani. Narsimha Dev is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, who has come in this very ferocious, fearsome mood, very angry mood because his devotee was being harassed and tortured. So, Narsimha is none other than Krishna in angry mood, and Gauranga is none other than Krishna in a very, very audarya, merciful bhav, very, very munificent, merciful mood, okay? Loving mood, the highest mood of Radharani is love, basically. So, but even Gauranga Mahaprabhu, in many places, you will see in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavad, his nursing form has been described. He displayed his nursing roop to many of the devotees, okay? And it is very, bewildering, but at some points he showed his opulence, because most of the times he was in this very humble sannyasi roop and very like a perfect devotee, but sometimes he will show his opulence. And so some of those rare situations where he showed his Narsinga roop, I'll tell you. So two of those pastimes were with Srivas Thakur. You know that Srivas Thakur, Srivas Pandit, is none other than Narad Muni. He's one of the Panch Tattvas. And Srivas Thakur is one of the very close associates of the Lord. And Srivas Angan is the place in Navadvip Dham where Mahaprabhu started his Sankirtan movement. And Srivas Angan is considered the Rasa Sthali of Gauranga. So just like Radha Krishna have their Rasa Sthali, their Rasa Mandal, Sri Rasa Mandal. Similarly, Gaurangas, Gaur Nitai and their associates, their Rasa Mandali, their Rasa Sthali was none other than Srivas Thakur's house or Srivas Angan. So in Srivas Angan, they used to perform nightly kirtans. They used to conduct their Sankirtan movement from Srivas Thakur's house. It was the main hub, the center of Sankirtan movement. Now, you know that at that time, there was Muslim rule in Bengal, all over India, but especially in Bengal, there was Muslim rule. So there was a Muslim magistrate at that time. His name was Chand Qazi. And he saw that this sannyasi, this Mahaprabhu, I don't know if Mahaprabhu was sannyasi at that time, actually. It may have been just after his first initiation, but before sannyas, when he was still in Navadvip, not in Jagannath Puri. So at that time, Chand Qazi, along with many other, there were many Smarth Brahmans. Smarth Brahmans are the Brahmans that are only Brahmans for name, but they do not have any Brahmanical qualities or qualification. They are just born in Brahman families. These Smarth Brahmans and Muslim people became very envious of Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement. And they decided that since this happens in Srivas Thakur's house, let's capture Srivas Thakur. So Srivas Thakur heard about it. He was given intimation about it that Chand Qazi will send his soldiers to capture you. Okay. So Srivas Thakur closed the door of his house and he started reciting Narsingh Kavach and Vishnu Sahasranam and Narsingh Aarti and other things. Okay. He started reciting various names of Narsimha and started praying very hard to Narsimha Dev. At that time, now it's not that Srivas Thakur is scared for his own safety, but he was mostly scared for the safety of the devotees, and most importantly, he was scared for the safety of Mahaprabhu, that they will eventually capture Mahaprabhu as well. And most importantly, he was worried about the Sankirtan movement, that they will break our Sankirtan party, because they were causing a lot of disturbances in the Nagar Kirtan, in the Prem Nam Kirtan on the street. These people will break mridangas and beat up devotees and whatnot. So this had already happened. So Srivas Thakur was praying very hard to Narsimha Dev to protect the Sankirtan movement, to protect the Mahaprabhu. At that time, Mahaprabhu came to the door of Srivas Thakur's house and started beating the door very aggressively. So they have put some slides here which say the verse, actually, how he was pounding on the door again and again. And Mahaprabhu started asking him from outside the door, who are you worshipping? Who are you meditating on? Look, I am the Lord. I am the person that you were worshipping. And upon your request, I heard your worship and I have come. Okay, I have come. I am none other than the Narsingha himself. So when Srivas Thakur opened the door, Mahaprabhu actually gave him the Narsingha, the darshan of his Narsingha Swarup, his Narsingha Roop he showed with the four-arm Narsingha Roop. Remember that the Narsingha that came out of the column when Hiranyakashipu broke the pillar was the 16-armed form, Shodash Bahu Roop. But here the Roop that Mahaprabhu showed was the four-armed form, the Vishnu Murti Roop, holding the Shankh Chakra Gadapadam. That Roop was one that Mahaprabhu showed. And look, if you read on the slides, it says, he roared like a maddened lion, slapping the palm of his hands again and again with his left shoulder. He made a great sound. And Srivas was trembling. He was stunned. He could not move. So Mahaprabhu then roared. And he said, for so many days, you did not know my true identity. And because of your Sankirtan, I have left Vaikuntha and have come here with all my associates. But you did not know me. So in this way, basically, he revealed his identity as Narsingha to Srivas Pandit, Srivas Thakur. So then Srivas Thakur, instead of offering the prayers to deity, started offering the prayers to Narsingha Dev, who was standing right in front of him. And then there are these Bengali prayers, Bengali verses from Chaitanya Bhagavat that I have put on the screen, which we can recite later. But basically, this is how Mahaprabhu showed his Narsingha form to Srivas Thakur. And then there was another incident when Srivas Thakur was reciting Vishnu Sahasranam, and this was an intimate association. This was a closed group, just confidential people. And when Srivas Thakur came to the name of Narsingha during Vishnu Sahasranam, at that time also Mahaprabhu showed his Narsingha form. He became very ecstatic upon hearing about his own pastime while killing Hiranyakashipu. And he became very, very ecstatic. He could not control, and he roared and he displayed his Narsingha Roop again at that time to the group of devotees headed by Srivas Thakur. So there are many, it is described in Chaitanya Charitamrit, often Krishnadas Kaviraj refers to Mahaprabhu, to our Gauranga, as not Narsimha, but as Gaursimha, And it is described that there are actually many similarities. There are some differences, but actually many similarities and differences between Mahaprabhu and Narsingha. For example, similarities are that both of them have golden complexion. Okay, and before Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he had very long, curly, plush hair, very, very soft, dark, long black hair. That's why he was also called Keshav. So because of his golden complexion, and just he had mane, let's say lion ki mane hoti hai, he had hair like lion's mane, very soft, very, very plush, dark hair, long hair. Lion has golden hair, but he had very plush, soft, long, curly hair, just like soft like that of Narsimha. And he's also described, Mahaprabhu is also described to be very broad-chested like Narsimha and very thin waist. So thin waist and broad chest. So I'm taking all of this from Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat, okay? And it is described that he was called Gaursimha also because of the way Narsimha roared when he came out of the pillar. He roared so ferociously that his roar could be heard by the demigods in other planets. All the planets, all the universes shook. It is described that it felt like almost the covering of the universe is breaking. That's how his roar sounded. That's how loudly he roared. And when he roared like that, it is said that it shattered the heart of Hiranyakashipu. It was such a loud roar. So in this way, his roar was so ferocious, so fearsome. Similarly, when Mahaprabhu was so ferocious, so fearsome, when he was spreading his Sankirtan movement, he used to roar the names of Krishna on the streets of Navdvip. When he would do his Prem Nam Kirtan, he would in a similar mood, he would roar the names of the Lord on the street. So he was completely fearless. He was completely ferocious when it came to spreading the Sankirtan movement. And then another similarity is that both of them appeared in the Leo star constellation. The constellation at this time was same. They both appeared in Simha Rashi, Leo star constellation. Now, difference is, of course, that Narsimha Dev is described as very ferocious, whereas Mahaprabhu is described as, and he does not kill any demons, he only kills the demonic propensities. But you know that just like Mahaprabhu, Narsimha Dev is also very merciful, right? It is described that although he's Ugra Narsimha, he's called Ugra Api Anugraha. उग्र होते हुए भी जो अनुग्रह शो करते हैं, मतलब मर्सी शो करते हैं. So इसके बारे में, you know, about this there are couple very important points described. It is said that, you know, for his devotees he uses the soft side of his palm. You know how the nail of Narsimha are very, very fierce, nails are very sharp, so he uses his nails to tear the Vajra, the thunderbolt like chest of Hiranyakashipu. So he tears the chest of Hiranyakashipu with his nails. But for Prahlad's head, when he was patting the head of Prahlad, he uses the soft paw of his hand, because the paw of a lion is very soft. This side is very soft. So he uses this side for Prahlad's head, and he uses this, the nails, the talons, his claws, to tear the chest of Hiranyakashipu. So he has the sharp part for demons and soft part for devotees. Similarly, it is also described that, you know, when Lord Vishnu or Narsimha holds 4 things in his hand, okay, he holds Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padam. Out of those 4 things, 2 things are meant for devotees, which are the Padam or lotus and the conch or the Shankh. So Shankh and Padam are meant for the devotees, because devotees call out to the Lord, ahvan karte hain Bhagwan ka, right, by sounding the conch shell. So Shankh baja ke Bhagwan ka ahvan karte hain. We call the Lord by blowing the conch or the Shankh. So it is a very auspicious sound that reaches the Lord. So this is the conch, which is meant for devotees. And similarly, Krishna also plays this sound, you know, he plays bugle or he plays flute to call the devotees. So the transcendental sound vibrations are transmitted between the Lord and devotees. So sound vibrations have a very long significance, very primeval, very ancient significance in our Vedic history, that devotees and God always communicate through transcendental sound vibrations by playing various instruments or by sounding the name through their tongue, or by blowing various instruments. So Shankh represents that sounding of a transcendental sound vibration that reaches the Lord, and Lord also communicates like that. So Shankh is meant for devotees, and Padam or lotus is also meant for devotees, because lotus is so soft, it is so beautiful, it is so, you know, it is pink, and it is, it has all those qualities which with which we describe actually the entire form of the Lord. We say he has lotus-like face, lotus-like hands, lotus-like belly, lotus-like navel, right? So Queen Kunti also describes Krishna, everything is lotus-like eyes. So lotus is very beautiful transcendental flower that we use to describe the beauty of the Lord. So in this way, the Shankh and Padam is for devotees, whereas the Chakra and Gada, the mace and the wheel, is for demons, okay, with which he destroys the demons. So Krishna always says that I come to protect the devotees, I come to exchange relationship with devotees, I have loving exchanges, loving reciprocations with devotees, but I also come to destroy the demons. So he destroys them with his mace and with the chakra or the wheel. So इस तरीके से Chakra and Gada is for destroying the demons. So in many ways, both Gauranga and Narsimha have soft aspect and ferocious aspect both. Whenever it was needed, Mahaprabhu was actually very ferocious. Like in establishing Vaishnava etiquettes, Vaishnava conduct, he was very ferocious. While protecting Sankirtan movement, he was very ferocious. But his ultimate mood was that of Audarya Bhav or Karuna Bhav. Okay, then one more pastime comes. So when Chand Kazi destroyed the Mridanga and disturbed the Nagar Sankirtan, Mahaprabhu promised Srivas Thakur. So remember, Mahaprabhu appeared to Srivas Thakur and said, he promised, I will, now that you have worshipped me, now you have called for me, I will personally protect the Sankirtan movement. Do not worry, okay? I will take care of Chand Kazi. So, and it was noted that after a few days, all the disturbances stopped, because every day there was some disturbance going on. And then after a few days, the disturbances stopped. So, and then one day, Chand Kazi came to visit Mahaprabhu actually at Srivas Thakur's house. So they were very confused. Wow, Chand Kazi is coming to visit Mahaprabhu. And he fell at the feet of Mahaprabhu and begged for his pardon, his mercy. He said, and Mahaprabhu said that, Mahaprabhu asked him, what happened? Why did your heart change? Why did you stop your offenses, your atrocities against the devotees? So then he described, he said, I'll tell you a situation that happened with me a few days back. So a few days back, when I was sleeping in my chambers, and this is the verses that I had on the screen. When I was sleeping, I had a feeling that somebody was sitting on my chest. And when I opened my eyes, I felt big heaviness on my chest and big glow. And this really big, wonderful, astonishing creature was sitting on my chest, and he was half man, half lion. Okay, and he was roaring and laughing at the top of his voice. He was very loudly laughing and roaring. Okay, look at this. It says, Shaine amar upar lafa diya chadi, atta atta hase kare dant kada madi. So, sei ratre ek sinha mahabhayankar, nar deha sinha mukha garjaye vistar, भीता देखी सिंहा बले हया सदये, तोरे शिक्षा दीते कैलू तोरा पराजय. So he said he was mincing, like gnashing his teeth. Kare dant kadamadi. It was such a loud noise, such a fearsome noise he was making with his teeth, and he was atta hatta hasa kare. He was very loudly laughing. And he grabbed my shoulders with his claws, okay, my chest, and he made this like mark on my chest. He pierced my chest like this, okay, and I felt piercing pain going through my chest. And he warned me that if I don't stop this atrocities against the devotees, then he will kill me. He'll come again. I will again be visited by him, and he will kill me this time. So he said, Sei din bahut nahi kaili utpat, teji shama karina karinu prana ghat. Sei hai te jiva mora bole hari hari, ichha nahi tabu bale ki upay kari. From that day, my jiva, my tongue is just chanting Hari Hari, because I'm so scared of this ferocious form that came to visit me. And when I woke up, initially I thought maybe it was a dream, but actually it was not a dream, because there were real marks on my body from shoulder to my chest. There was bleeding, like there were deep marks on my chest and body where he had pierced my skin with his claws. So this fearsome form had come to visit me, and I cannot and I understand now that you are true devotees of the Lord, that your movement is genuine, that this was the Supreme Lord that came to visit me, and I'm completely sold to your cause, your Sankirtan movement, and I will also chant the names of Hari Hari. And he says, Hari Krishna Narayana Lele Teen Naam, Bada Bhagavan Tumi, Bada Punyavan, that you are very, very Punyavan, very, very pious person, that you are chanting these names and spreading these names of Lord Hari. So he said, and then there are more verses if you see. So ultimately, basically, the Chand Kazi said that I will not disturb your Sankirtan movement. My future generations, nobody will disturb your Sankirtan movement. Nobody will disturb your Sankirtan movement. So it is described that, there were many Muslims that tried to disturb the Vaishnavas. Even like during, 1947, many riots happened. And there were so many atrocities against Hindus and against Vaishnavas at that time also. But Chand Kazi's family, which, continued to rule in that area of Bengal, never, ever dared to commit any crimes, any harm against Vaishnavas. And not only that, they were actually protective of Vaishnavas. So in this way, Chand Kazi was completely transformed after getting darshan of Mahaprabhu, of Narsimha Dev. Then there is another pastime that is described in Chaitanya, I believe it is in Chaitanya Charitamrit, where there was a great devotee of Narsimha Dev who used to worship the deity of Lord Narsimha in Jagannath Puri, and his name was his name was Narsimha Nanda. Narsimha Nanda was the name that was given to him by Mahaprabhu. His name was Pradyumna Brahmachari. And because of his allegiance to Narsimha, Mahaprabhu had given him the name Narsimha Nanda. So he used to worship Narsinga deity. One time, Mahaprabhu came to visit him and he made bhoga for Jagannath Ji, for Narsinga Dev Bhagwan, and for Gauranga Mahaprabhu. But when he was gone, Mahaprabhu ate all three bhogas, all three offerings that he had prepared. Mahaprabhu ate all of the three. So it is a very beautiful exchange that comes in the book that describes that how Mahaprabhu ate all the three, and Brahmanand Pradyumna Brahmachari was very upset with Mahaprabhu. Now you ate all the food. Now my Narsinga will have to fast today because I don't have any more grocery to make any more food. So Mahaprabhu said, then reassured him that do not worry at all, because I am none other than Narsimha himself. I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And by feeding me, you have satisfied your Narsimha as well, because I am none other than Narsimha. And he actually revealed, you've been worshipping me for so long that I decided to pay you darshan, and let me show you the Narsimha darshan. So he gave him Narsimha darshan as well. And that time also Mahaprabhu showed his Narsimha darshan. So in this way, there have been many, like 3 or 4 times at least, where we get Narsimha darshan in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat. I'll pause here. Let me see if you are in any mood to hear about Ugra Narsimha's appearance in Mayapur Dham. But this is what I had about Narsimha's pastimes in Gaur Leela. Let's hear some realizations or questions or any additions, corrections, anything anybody wants to share. Is this helpful? Is this helping your meditation on Lord Narsimha today? Do you understand which mood to worship in Narsinga Dev and what to ask him for? At the dusk when we do his arti, what are we going to ask him? Who wants to share? Sheetal Mataji, Rekha Mataji, Poonam Mataji, would you like to share anything? Mataji, I cannot hear you. Rekha Mataji, you sharing something?
No, Mataji.
Okay. You want to share anything? Is this something you've heard before, or is this helpful?
It's very helpful. I've not heard. I mean, some I've heard, but some I haven't. So it was something new I learned.
Okay. Who else wants to share? Poonam Mataji? Okay. Unless you give me some signal, I will not go ahead, because I don't know if anybody's listening. So Ugra Narsimha Leela, then we can do some other time. If you are listening, if you want to share something, I will continue to the next topic. If not, we'll stop today. So it's up to you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for so far. The Gaur Leela pastimes was definitely new information for me also. The only thing that I had known was the Aarti part that you had discussed in the beginning, that was composed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jeevdev Goswami. But otherwise, it was very insightful. Thank you so much, Mataji. Mataji, and today I have some time constraints. So
Okay, sure, no problem. So thank you, Mataji, for sharing. Yeah, so in our disciplic succession, there is allegiance to Narsimha Dev. In fact, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, when he would visit Gadadhar Pandit in Jagannath Puri, when they used to read Bhagavatam together, they used to pour over Prahlad Charitra. So Prahlad Charitra is, and Dhruv Charitra. Prahlad is the Bhakta Shiromani, so he's the topmost devotees, and so they used to discuss his pastimes. It is described that they had discussed more than 100 times Prahlad Charitra from Srimad Bhagavatam. It may appear that Mahaprabhu's mood was to worship Radha Krishna. That is the worship he came to give us. His Aradhya Bhagwan is Radha Krishna. And that is the mood we have been given, that we have to serve the lotus feet of Radha Krishna, and ultimate goal is Krishna Lok or Golok, Vrindavan. They are the life and soul. They are the pran, dhan. They are dhan and pran of our life. And their forms are very different. They're very sweet. They're very charming, very beautiful, very soft, lotus-like, but still the way to Radha Krishna is fraught with many obstacles, many hindrances, both within and without, internal and external. And Narsimha Dev helps us to fight with both types of obstacles. So when we pray tonight, please pray to remove the internal as well as external obstacles, whether it's related to material problems, health or finances, or family related problems, profession related, community related, worldly problems. People in this world pray to Ganeshji, who is Vignaharta, but we pray to Narsimha Devi. In all situations, we take shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality appears in many forms, many moods. So we don't have to go to any other demigod for any desires that we have. Supreme Personality has provided us so many forms that we can take shelter of in different situations. So in any difficult situations, always we take shelter of Supreme Lord in the form of Narsimha Dev. Okay, so Sheetal Mataji is not available. Who else? Do you want to hear Ugra Narsimha story? How Ugra Narsimha deity appeared in Mayapur Dham? Who all wants to hear? I can make it quick in 10 minutes. It's a beautiful story. If not, then
I would like to hear Mataji.
I want to hear.
I'll be there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, so let's do it then, because this is a very beautiful story of how Ugra Narsimha deities came to. Please feel free to leave if you're not able to. I don't want to waste time. So, but I'll just quickly cover Ugra Narsimha's deity, how that appeared. Okay, so for some of you, you may be very well versed with this story. So this story started from year 1984. Okay, Prabhupada is gone. Prabhupada has disappeared, finished his pastimes. And there was a temple, ISKCON temple in Mayapur Dham. The same ISKCON temple, the Bhavya, very auspicious Chandroday Mandir that is so huge right now, TOBP, right? Temple of Vedic Planetarium. Huge temple right now. But in those days, in 1984, it was a very, very small temple, okay? And they just had some deities, but they used to do very opulent worship of those deities. So this was the day of March 24th, 1984. It's easy for me to remember because it's Nagachandra Prabhu's birthday. So I remember that day, because that is the day when in this area, an attack happened on the temple, okay? Now, this area was in middle of nowhere. It was in a very secluded place, like forest type of place. This temple was in a very secluded place. So there was a group of 30 to 35 dacoits, okay? Which were, some of them were Muslim people, some were actually Hindus only. And they were, dacoits. The dacoits don't have any religion, doesn't matter. All they wanted was some money, some wealth. And they realized that in this temple, there are deities, and deities are very beautifully decorated with very opulent clothes and ornaments and many, many expensive things they have on their body. And deity itself may be very expensive as well. So let's steal some of these deities and some of these other paraphernalia from the temple, and we can sell it and become very rich. So they robbed the temple that day on March 24th, 1984. They attacked the temple, okay? This was a big group of people that came to the temple. They had guns, and they overpowered the devotees. Now, devotees were completely caught by surprise, and they are not used to this type of attacks, and they were not equipped for any bodily, physical attack to counter these people. So some of the devotees actually got very badly injured in this attack. One of the devotees, Bhakti Raghav Maharaj, actually lost his leg. And there was gunfiring and whatnot. So in this way, there was a lot of, harm and lot of fighting. But devotees fought very hard. Despite all this, despite devotees put up a good fight, but still the dacoits managed to steal Radharani's deity. Okay, they were stealing Prabhupada. I think they stole Prabhupada and Radharani. I believe they were able to save Prabhupada's deity, but Radharani's deity they could not save. And Radharani's deity was really loaded with like jewelry and whatnot. So Radharani's deity was taken. And all this, massacre happened. All this, the temple was destroyed. So the devotees were very all over the world. ISKCON devotees, other people that are that empathize with our movement. They were all very stunned by this attack. Okay. So at that time, administration called for an urgent meeting and decided, and everybody was heartbroken that we could not protect Radharani, because these deities, when they appear, they need our protection. This is a very vulnerable form of Lord who has put himself in our protection, our care. We have to feed him, we have to dress him, we have to put them to sleep, we have to protect them, and we could not protect Radharani. So this was very heartbreaking for the devotees. Who were very sincere. So then they thought of many strategies how to protect the temple. At that time, they decided, the decision was made, we should have Narsingh deity in the temple. Okay, because our protector is Narsingh Dev. He's the protector of devotees. Narsingh is our supreme protector of devotees. He should be the deity of this temple. He should be installed. So one of the senior Vaishnavas made a sketch from the Shastras. He came up with a description of how Narsimha looks like, and he made a sketch of Ugra Narsimha. Okay, this was an Ugra Sthanu Narsimha. Ugra Sthanu Narsimha is that form of the Lord that has just emerged from the pillar and is very, very angry. It is very, very ferocious because it is looking for the demon. He is looking for the demon that has tried to disturb his devotee, that has tried to harass his devotee. So he's looking for Hiranyakashipu, and he's thirsty for this Hiranyakashipu's blood. He wants to kill him. So he's very, very angry, very, very angry. Krishna can be very loving, but when he's angry, he's very angry. And this, transcendental anger. So this is Ugra Sthanu Narsimha. Sthanu means the Narsimha that is ready to pounce. Okay, Ugra means very angry, and Sthanu means the one that is ready to pounce. His legs are bent and he's ready to pounce on Hiranyakashipu. So he made that sketch. And then they decided to look for a person who can make this deity. So these are called the shilpkars or sculptors who will make this deity. So there, at that time in South India, even nowadays in South India, the shilpkars are very famous. They make exceptional, deities that are installed in the temples. Just like this year we saw Ram Lalla's deity. So you've all heard of the famous sculptor that made that deity, right? So these shilpkars, they are very, very God-realized, God-conscious people that have really spent a lot of time in deep study of Shilp Shastra, okay, of Shilp Shastra, which is a branch of Vedic scriptures. So it is one of the scriptures or Shastra. Just like there is Shastra, Niti Shastra, Natya Shastra. There is Shastra for everything in our scriptures. Similarly, there is Abhinay Shastra. Everything is there. Similarly, there is Shilpa Shastra. So they decided to find a Shilpkar or a sculptor from South India. So one of the devotees was assigned the job to find the perfect sculptor. His name was Atma Tattva Prabhu. This Atma Tattva Prabhu went all over South India and was looking for a perfect sculptor. He came across, everybody gave him the name of this one sculptor who was very famous at that time. Now these sculptors, that's Shilpkars, that make the deities of the Lord according to the scriptures and install them in the temple, these particular Shilpkars are called Sthapatis. Okay, Sthapatis. So he found one very famous Sthapati in Chennai. Actually, everybody directed him to that particular Sthapati only. Go to that Sthapati, he will make you the deity. Everybody else kept refusing. When he went to that Sthapati, Atma Tattva Prabhu, and described what had happened at the temple, and we really need this deity of Ugra Narsimha, he showed him the sketch. So as soon as Sthapati saw the sketch, he blatantly refused. He said, I will not make this deity. I can make any other deity you want. I'll not make this. He will not give a reason, nothing. I will just not make this deity. So he said, go look somewhere else. Maybe somebody else will agree. So he went around all over South India, talked to many people. Nobody will agree to make this Ugra Narsimha deity. Finally, he came back to this original Sthapati again to see if this one will make it. So then he said, the reason nobody is making this deity and I will not make this deity is because it will be very inauspicious to make this deity. So Atma Tattva Prabhu was very confused. What do you mean inauspicious? He said, he showed him his Shilpa Shastra book. He said, this deity of Ugra Narsimha has been carved very, very few times, rarely in the history of our world. Okay. This is a very aggressive form of the Lord. It is a very ferocious form, which is very difficult to please. And so this form is very difficult to worship. Once the pran comes into the murti and it becomes a vigraha, the Lord is present in that form. So Ugra Narsimha will be present in that form, in that deity. And Ugra Narsimha needs the highest standards of worship. And if you cannot meet those high standards, then that form will destroy your whole, a temple, the place around, the families of those people that have slipped in their standards of worship. So you have to maintain very high standards of worship, because this is a very angry form. Think about it. If one of your family members, somebody, your relative, your spouse is very angry with you, it's very difficult to pacify them. It's very difficult to please them. This is the form of the Lord, which is very angry. So it's very difficult to worship. So then he said, okay, at least, okay, don't make the deity fine. I understand. Atma Tattva Prabhu was just sort of negotiating with him. He said, can you make me a better sketch of this? Then maybe I can get somebody else to make this. So he said, okay, I'll make you sketch. So he took 7 days and made the sketch of the Ugra Narsimha deity and gave him. He said, I can make sketch, I will not make the deity. And sent him back. So Atma Tattva Prabhu came back to Mayapur. Then they waited, a few months passed. Then everybody again requested to him, please go and see, request that Sthapati. Maybe you can convince him. Maybe his mood has changed now. So he went again and he prepared many arguments in his head. He prepared many logics. This is what I'll tell. The whole time he was having the conversation in his head during the journey, that this is what I'll tell the Sthapati to convince him. And then when he met Sthapati, he said, and by this time, temple also had a sponsor. So the sponsor was ready to make a temple for Narsingadev, to sponsor the altar, the paraphernalia, the clothes, the jewels, everything. So they had very nice sponsors also. So the temple really wanted the Narsingha deity, and so they were really praying that Sthapati would agree. And lo and behold, as soon as Atma Tattva Prabhu came back to Sthapati and he said, please do this for us, and he started to give his reasons. Sthapati said, hold on, don't worry, I'll do it. He agreed. He quickly agreed. So Atma Tattva Prabhu was very confused. He said, how come you were refusing so strongly before and now you agreed? What is the reason? Why? How come you changed your mind? What happened? He said, I'll tell you what happened. He said, after you left, I felt very bad. I really felt bad for all of you, because you really seem like very genuine people. I know that Hare Krishna devotees are very sincere, they have no other motivation but to serve the Lord. And that's all you want to do. You want to preach Harinam. You want your temple in Mayapur to be protected. And that's why you want this deity. And when I sent you back, I felt really bad. So I thought I'll consult my guru. If my guru also says no, then I will know that I did not do anything wrong. So I went to visit my guru the next day. And when I told my guru about this, he also agreed that I should not make this deity. I did the right thing to send you back and not make this deity of Ugra Narsimha. And he even told me a story that 3,000 years back, there was a pujari, there was a family who was worshipping Ugra Narsimha. And they used to worship very nicely. And Ugra Narsimha was very pleased with their worship. And the temple was flourishing under their worship, under their domain. And the worship was very opulent, very pleasing to the Lord. But slowly, as the generations passed, the worship declined, the standards slipped down, and the future generations could not hold the same standard of worship. And so then Ugra Narsimha became angry, and he actually, not only that place got destroyed, that village, that family, there is nothing there. It's like Khandar there. It's completely Viran, completely deserted area. So nobody has been able to make a temple till this date in this place now. So you did the right thing, he told his disciple, in sending this person back. Do not make this deity. That's fine. So then, Atma Tattva Prabhu said, so then why did you change your mind? What happened? He said, so that day when I was sleeping, I had a dream where my guru actually came into my dream and said, I guided you wrong. You can agree. If this person approaches you again, you can agree to make this deity. And when I woke up, I was confused. Did my guru really instruct that I can make this TT? But yesterday I met him in person and he gave me a reference, a story, and told me not to. So what happened? So then he said that when I woke up in a few hours, I actually got a letter from my guru. And my Guru Maharaj sent a letter saying that, I know that I guided you yesterday to not make the DT, but now I give you the permission that you're okay to make this DT. So he said, and he gave a reason in the letter. And this reason is very beautiful. Please listen to this very carefully. The reason of why it's okay to make that DT now, when before he was rejecting that idea. So he said, in any dham, the mood of all the DTs is dependent on the mood of the prime DT of the dham. Okay. For example, in Braj Dham, the Shri Radha Krishna rule. So the Braj Brajendra Nandan rules. So the mood is that of Madhurya Bhav. The mood, the seva is performed in that conjugal mood. Okay, that mood is predominant in Vrindavan. Similarly, in other dhams, there are different. In Dwarka Dham, the mood of Aishwarya Bhav or opulence is predominant. But in Mayapur Dham, actually the prime deity, the worshipable deity of Mayapur Dham is Gaur Nitai. And they are the Param Karuna Murti. So they are the Audarya Bhav. They have the Audarya Bhav. They are the most merciful incarnations, most munificent incarnations. So their mood is that of Audarya or Karuna Bhav. So whatever deity is other than them is installed will acquire that mood. Okay, of that mood of Audarya will predominate in the dham, and even if certain standards slipped, it is the prime deity, the main deity, Gaur Nitai, which will which will forgive your offenses, which will forget your offenses or your lack of best standards. So they will forgive you. So in this way, since the Audarya Bhav predominates in Mayapur Dham, it's okay to establish the Ugra Narsimha deity. So in this way he agreed. He said, give me a few months and come back. So after 4 months, and then Mayapur people were very excited. Everybody was through, they were ecstatic, and they started making all the preparations, started setting up the temple and the altar and all this. And after 4 months, Atma Tattva Prabhu went again to check on the progress of the deity. So when he went back, he said to the Sthapati, okay, is my deity ready? He said, what deity? So Sthapati said, what deity are you talking about? He said, my deity, Narsimha deity, you promised. He said, oh, no, that's not ready. He said, what do you mean? You said to come back, it will be ready in 6 months. So it's 4 months have already passed. Something should be ready. So he said, oh, I haven't even found the stone yet. He said, what do you mean you haven't found the stone? There are stones all around you. There are so many mountains and all these rocks and big stones. Take a stone and make a deity. So Sthapati said, you have not read, you're completely ignorant. You have not read any Shilpa Shastras. Don't you understand that Vishnu deity cannot be carved from just any mundane stone of this world? It has to be a very particular stone. These are called living stone. These stones have pran in them. They are very special stones. They have certain markings on them. They have certain features that are very special to that stone. Only then the stone can be carved into a Vishnu Murti deity. So, like, for example, one of the features is that when you strike the stone in 7 places, then it makes this sound, transcendental sound. Different type of sounds come from 7 places. And then when a bug, like a small insect, is put through one side of the stone, it comes out in a straight line through the other side. It comes out in a straight line through the other side. So in this way, there are certain features of the stone. Once I find that stone, then I will make that deity. So Atma Tattva Prabhu said, okay, while you search for the stone, can you also make a deity of Prahlad Maharaj? He said, a deity of Prahlad? Okay, I can make a deity of Prahlad. He said, can you make Narsimha deity 4 feet and Prahlad Maharaj's deity 1 foot? So at that, Sthapati started laughing. Sthapati said, if your Narsimha Dev is 4 feet tall, then your Prahlad will have to be the size of a microbe, like an amoeba, size of an amoeba. Amoeba is like a small microorganism. He said, your Prahlad will have to be the size of a microbe. It cannot be one foot. So he said, what are you talking about? If we make the size of an amoeba, then nobody can see the Prahlad DT. And how would you even carve it? He said, okay, if you want me to make Prahlad DT to be 1 foot, then Narsimha DT will have to be 120 foot. So then both of them started scratching their head. How would 120 foot DT fit in a temple? How would he carve this 120 feet DT? And where will you find that much stone to make a DT for 120 feet tall Narsimha? So Atma Tattva Prabhu just prayed to him, Maharaj, Thapati Maharaj, please, I request you, just make, I know the proportions are not right, but we cannot make a 120 foot Narsimha and 1 foot Prahlad. Please make 1 foot Prahlad Maharaj and 4 feet tall Narsimha Dev. So even though it is not proportions according to the scriptures, please just, people need to be able to see Prahlad. He cannot be the size of an amoeba. And the DT of Narsingh needs to fit in the temple. It cannot be 120 feet tall. So let's meet in the middle. Please make this DT. So then Sthapati said, okay, I know that it's not according to scriptures, but your bhav is pure. Your intentions are genuine. So I'll do it. I'll make a 4 foot tall Narsingh and 1 foot tall Prahlad. So then ultimately he found the proper stone, the living stone, jisme pran hote hain, that stone. And with dedication, he started working on it. He was very dedicated. He used to work on it all alone. He would not even take help of any of his helpers or students or anybody in this, making this DT of Narsimha and Prahlad. And after 1 year, so remember that tragedy happened in 1984 when attack happened on the temple. And now this is 1986. 1 year had passed and finally the DT was ready. Okay. So Sthapati decided, he put the DT in a thatched hut, like in a cottage. And he thought, okay, I'll take a break. I'll go visit some of my friends in the nearby village. So he went somewhere. Later, like in a day or so, he got the news. The people came running to him that, come quickly, your house, that thatched hut, the cottage is on fire. Like the fire, nothing else is burning. Your cottage is on fire. Your cottage is burning. So Sthapati went running, but he said, how can it be on fire? There is so much like rain, torrential rain going on, like thunderstorm going on. In all this wind and all this thunderstorm and all this torrential rain, how is fire? How did my hut catch fire? Yeah, we don't know, but the hut is on fire. So when he reached there, he saw that amidst all this rain is pouring hard over the hut, but the hut is on fire. And he was so worried about the DT, he ran inside the hut. And what did he see? Very astonishing scene, that Narsingh DT is standing in the middle of the thatched hut and everything around him is burning, and there is this black clouds of smoke everywhere. Everything is on fire, and it looked like as if this fire is coming from Narsingh himself, as if he has set this thatched hut on fire, and everything is blazing, and Narsingh is like standing in the middle and everything around him is burning. So Sthapati got very, very confused at this, and he got very upset, and he immediately went and he phoned Mayapur devotees, and he said, come and take the Narsingha DT right now. The Narsingha Dev is burning my hut. He's going to burn my house. I think he's ready to come to your Mayapur temple. So he does not want to spend another day here. He's burning everything. Come and take him. So then Mayapur devotees came and they got ready to take the DT. So they brought all the trucks. They brought all the sand in the truck to properly transfer the DT, because it was a long journey from Chennai to Mayapur. Was a long journey. Now they were anticipating many obstacles in this journey, because it's a lot of paperwork. Like DT is a very valuable thing, so it takes a lot of permission from many different people and administration, and on the state borders you have to show the DT and you have to get the paper signed off. Archaeological Society has to sign off that this is not the property of state and this can be transferred from let's say Chennai to Mayapur and things like that. So they were anticipating a lot of paperwork, a lot of bribing the administration, and a lot of difficulties with the paperwork. But actually, to their amazement, everything went very smoothly. they had no hurdles at all. The truck kept going from, state to state. They'll be stopped at the state border. The person will examine, will open the trunk and look at the DT, get completely like astonished and horrified. Oh, this is Narsimha, and close the door and let them go. No questions asked. They'll quickly sign off. Nobody asked any questions, no concerns, and paperwork went smoothly, and DT reached Mayapur in record time. And in Mayapur, so then they decided, they had already made an altar. They decided to install the DT. Now, when they were installing, before installation, they have to put the eyes. And typically, Sthapati comes and carves the eyes at the time. He carves the eyes. So when they were getting ready, they saw that when they're getting the DT ready, they saw the eyes were already there. The eyes were already carved. So they called Sthapati. They said, "You have already carved the eyes. Isn't it done after installation? Isn't it done after the Pran Pratishtha?" So Pran Pratishtha ke baad eyes lagti hain. So Sthapati said, "What are you talking about? I am a Sthapati. I do the Sthapna of the DT. I do the Pran Pratishtha of the DT. I have already put Pran in the DT. I have already done the worship. This is not a Murti. This is Narsimha himself that you took. So I have already put the eyes. I do my work completely. I was not going to come to Mayapur to do Pran Pratishtha and carve the eyes. I've already done everything. Narsimha, this is Lord Narsimha himself." So then devotees realized that this is why everything went so smoothly, because they thought it was a Murti they were bringing, that they were going to do Pran Pratishtha. He has already done the Pran Pratishtha. So Narsimha is already there. This is Ugra Narsimha himself. That is why there was no difficulty on the borders, and everything went so smoothly. Paperwork went so smoothly because people saw Narsimha Dev standing there. So finally, they didn't have to do anything. They just put him on the altar and they decorated him and did all the ceremonies and installation, and everything went very nicely. And after so many of this roundabout pastimes, finally Narsimha Dev Bhagwan was installed in Mayapur Dham. And finally, then the question came, who will worship these deities? Because their worship is very difficult. Who will worship these deities? So then this was also assigned to very transcendental devotee, disciple of Prabhupada. So this is on your screen. You can see the Sthanu Narsimha. His legs are bent. He's ready to pounce. And this is a very decorated form of the Supreme Lord. You can see the Prahlad here, very small. This is, you can see up close. This is during Chandan Yatra, so you can see the Chandan on Lord Narsimha, but this is how Narsimha looks. So this is the Sthanu Ugra Narsimha of Mayapur Dham. So then the question came, who will worship Lord Narsimha?
Can you show the Prahlad Maharaj picture again?
Prahlad Maharaj. ये इसमें दिख रहा है. You can see Prahlad छोटे से. Can you see?
Yes.
And in the previous picture, I'll show you this here.
Thank you.
Or yeah, in this one here. So then they said, who will do the worship of? Everybody rejected. Nobody would agree for worship of Ugra Narsimha. We are not capable. We are not qualified like that. So and then the administration of the temple called the great, wonderful disciple of Prabhupada, His Grace Pankaj Angri Prabhu. You can see him on the screen. This is Pankaj Angri Prabhu, and I can show you his more of his pictures. This is Pankaj Angri Prabhu. They are twin brothers, him and Jananivas Prabhu. You can see both the twins in this picture. I don't know which one is which. This is Pankaj Angri Prabhu and His Grace Jananivas Prabhu, the transcendental twin brothers. So the administration.
Famous Jananivas Prabhu.
This one is Jananivas Prabhu. How do you identify?
He came, right? He saw him.
But they're twins, right? How do you know which one is which?
And they look different.
Okay. So yeah. So anyway, so the administration asked Pankaj Angri Prabhu. He said, he rejected. He said, I cannot do it. And I've heard this in his class only. He said, no, I'm not qualified. So the administration asked him, do you chant? Oh, okay. And another qualification needed for the worship of Narsingha Dev was that this person should be Naishtiki Brahmachari. So he should have honored brahmacharya or celibacy throughout his life. Not even once. एक बार भी brahmacharya भंग नहीं होना चाहिए. So Nashtiki brahmachari, first of all, were very, very few in the temple. And out of those, one of those was Pankajangri Prabhu. So when Pankajangri Prabhu was called, they asked him, do you chant your 16 rounds daily? He said, yes. Do you follow 4 regulative principles? Yes. Do you follow in the footsteps of Acharya? Yes. Do you have perfect allegiance to Prabhupada? Yes. Okay. So think about it for 5 days, but after 5 days, you will start the worship of Ugra Narsimha. So he was just told. So he describes that I was just told that I have to worship Lord Narsimha, and I did not think I was qualified. I had no capability. This is again Pankajangri Prabhu doing the worship of Narsinga Dev in Mayapur. And you know that Pankajangri Prabhu passed. He left his body maybe 2-3 years back. In 2021, he left. So now somebody else does the worship. But this screen says, Lord Narsimha Dev of Mayapur is famous all over the world for his loving reciprocation with the devotees. He was installed in 1986 after the temple was attacked by dacoits. Lord Chaitanya explains that although very ferocious, the lioness is very kind to her cubs. Similarly, although very ferocious to non-devotees like Hiranyakashipu, Lord Narsimha Dev is very soft and kind to devotees like Prahlad. That's why he's the protector of devotees. So I'll stop here. This is all I wanted to share. Please visit Ugra Narsimha in the Narsimha wing of Mayapur temple. I hope you enjoyed this pastime. I am sorry it took really long, but I wanted to cover this Ugra Narsimha pastime and the Narsimha pastimes in Gaur Leela. Thank you so much for patiently hearing. Bhakt Shiromani Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Bhakt Vatsal Bhagwan Narsimha Dev ki jai. Narsimha Chaturdashi Mahamahotsav ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna. Anybody wants to share anything? Poonam Mataji, Rekha Mataji, Neelveni Mataji, Shravani Mataji, Vinaya Mataji, want to share anything? Was this pastime new for you, some of you?
Yes, Mataji. So what did they ever recover the Radharani's deity?
No, Mataji, that's gone. The Radha Madhav deities that were installed were later.
Okay.
But yeah, this is how Ugra Narsimha came to Mayapur. Hopefully you will feel the desire to visit Narsimha now that you know the story.
Yeah.
Vinaya Mataji, you're sharing something?
No, Mataji.
Okay, anybody else? Nagarchand Prabhu, Poonam Mataji, you want to share? Poonam Mataji, you want to share something? आपने देखे हैं नरसिंह भगवान मायापुर के?
नहीं माताजी, अभी तक तो मैं नहीं गई हूँ वहाँ.
Okay. Chaliye, hopefully, we pray that we get to get a darshan of Ugra Narsimha in the Mayapur Dham and pray to remove all our internal and external obstacles in the path of devotional service. May he kill all Hiranyakashipu-like qualities, desires, offensive mentality from our heart and protect our Prahlad-like divine qualities, seva, mentality, servitude, and give us wonderful qualities of Prahlad Maharaj. Okay, so I'll stop here. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining.